The Steffi Graf Stadium had witnessed legends battling on its pristine grass courts for decades. Grand Slam champions, world number ones, and unforgettable rivalries had all left their mark on this historic venue. But on this June afternoon in Berlin, the stadium witnessed something entirely different, something that left more than 25,000 fans gasping in disbelief. Alex Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina sensation who had already captured the tennis world's attention with her remarkable rise and recent success on grass courts, stepped onto center court carrying enormous expectations. Entering the tournament as a wild card, she was determined to prove that her breakthrough performances were no accident. Across the net stood Donna Vekic, the experienced Croatian star whose journey over the previous 2 weeks had become one of the most inspiring stories of the season. At 29 years old, Vekic had just completed an extraordinary fairy tale run at Queen's Club, transforming herself from a lucky loser into a WTA 500 champion. The contrast between the two players could not have been more dramatic. On one side was youth, momentum, and fearless ambition. On the other stood experience, resilience, and a newfound confidence born from one of the most improbable championship runs in recent memory. Their history added another layer of intrigue. This was not merely another second-round match at the Berlin Open. This was the third chapter of a growing rivalry that had already produced memorable moments. Their previous meetings had gone Alex Eala's way, giving the young Filipina a perfect 2-0 record against the Croatian. Yet this time felt different. The stakes were higher, the stage was bigger, and both players were entering the contest in the best form of their careers. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. The atmosphere inside Steffi Graf Stadium was electric as fans filled every seat, eager to witness a clash between two of the hottest stories in women's tennis. For Alex Eala, the match represented another opportunity to continue her remarkable ascent. Just weeks earlier, she had captured headlines with her impressive performances on grass, proving that her versatile game could thrive on one of tennis's most challenging surfaces. Every victory seemed to bring new believers. Every tournament seemed to raise expectations. And with each passing week, more fans began to view her as one of the brightest young stars in the sport. But standing in her way was a player who understood better than anyone the power of momentum. Donna Vekic arrived in Berlin riding the wave of a career-defining triumph. Her journey at Queen's Club had started in disappointment. She had fallen short in qualifying and appeared destined to leave the tournament before the main draw even began. Then fate intervened. A late withdrawal opened the door. Vekic entered the tournament as a lucky loser. What happened next stunned the tennis world. Match after match, she fought through difficult situations, defeating higher-ranked opponents and refusing to surrender when the odds appeared stacked against her. By the time she reached the final, the Croatian had become the story of the tournament. Then she completed the miracle. In a dramatic championship match against Emma Raducanu, Vekic delivered one of the finest performances of her career to claim the biggest grass court title of her journey. The victory transformed everything. Her rankings surged, her confidence skyrocketed, and perhaps most importantly, she arrived in Berlin believing she could beat anyone. Yet despite all that momentum, one challenge remained unresolved. Alex Eala. The Filipina had already defeated Vekic twice before. Their first encounter came at the ASB Classic in Auckland, where Eala demonstrated remarkable determination. After dropping the opening set, she rallied brilliantly to claim victory in 3 hard-fought sets. Their second meeting took place at the Kryong Classic exhibition event, where Eala produced an even more convincing performance, winning in straight sets. 2 matches. 2 victories. But neither contest had taken place on grass. That fact mattered. Grass rewards aggression, quick reactions, and precise shot-making. It often favors experienced players who understand its unique demands. Many believed Vekic's powerful game would be perfectly suited to the surface. Others argued that Eala's athleticism, creativity, and growing confidence would once again prove decisive. As warm-ups concluded, anticipation reached a fever pitch. The crowd sensed that something special was about to unfold. From the opening game, both players displayed extraordinary intensity. Every point felt important. Every rally carried significance. Vekic came out swinging aggressively, using her powerful serve and flat ground strokes to pressure the young Filipina. Her confidence from Queen's Club was obvious. She played with conviction, refusing to allow Eala any rhythm. But Alex responded exactly as champions do. She absorbed the pressure. She defended brilliantly. And whenever opportunities appeared, she attacked without hesitation. The quality of tennis quickly reached an exceptional level. Spectators watched in amazement as both women produced breathtaking winners and incredible defensive recoveries. Long rallies were followed by explosive exchanges at the net. Neither player was willing to back down. The momentum shifted repeatedly. One moment it appeared Vekic had seized control. The next, Eala answered with a stunning sequence of points that reignited the crowd. As the match progressed, the tension became almost unbearable. Fans found themselves on the edge of their seats, reacting to every shot, every break point, and every momentum swing. This was no longer simply a tennis match. It had become a test of character, a battle of belief, a collision between two players determined to continue their extraordinary journeys. For Vekic, victory would validate her Queen's Club triumph and prove that her fairy tale run was no fluke. For Eala, a win would reinforce her growing reputation as one of the sport's most exciting young stars and send a message to the rest of the field that she belonged among the elite. As the decisive moments approached, the atmosphere inside Steffi Graf Stadium reached another level. The noise intensified, the pressure mounted, and both players knew that only one would emerge victorious. What happened next left fans speechless. The rallies became longer, the stakes became greater, and every point seemed capable of changing the outcome of the match. In those defining moments, Alex Eala displayed the qualities that have made her one of the most talked-about players in tennis. She refused to panic. She refused to surrender. And she continued fighting with remarkable composure despite the immense pressure surrounding her. The crowd sensed they were witnessing more than a victory or a defeat. They were witnessing the arrival of a competitor capable of thriving on the sport's biggest stages. By the end of the afternoon, regardless of the final score, one thing was undeniable. The rivalry between Alex Eala and Donna Vekic had produced another unforgettable chapter. And the tennis world would be talking about what happened in Berlin for a very long time. Ever before, the 21-year-old Filipina had earned a wild card into the main draw after her stunning breakthrough on grass. Just days earlier, she had captured the biggest grass court title of her young career at Birmingham, battling back from a set down to defeat Nikola Bardunkova 5-7, 6-3, 7-5 in a thrilling final. The victory changed everything. It pushed Eala to a career-high ranking of world number 33. It silenced critics who questioned her ability to thrive on grass. And perhaps most importantly, it gave her the belief that she belonged among the game's elite. She was playing the best tennis of her life. But the night before her Berlin opener, chaos struck. At approximately 3 a.m., a fire alarm at the team hotel forced players to evacuate their rooms. Among those affected were Alex Eala, Coco Gauff, and Eva Liss. The disruption couldn't have come at a worse time. Eala was scheduled to play the opening match on center court just hours later. Sleep-deprived and exhausted, many wondered whether the unexpected disturbance would impact her performance. If there was one thing Eala had proven throughout her career, however, it was her ability to overcome adversity. She had faced setbacks before. She had battled injuries, doubts, and criticism. Each obstacle had only strengthened her resolve. Now another challenge stood before her. Across the net was Donna Vekic, the hottest player on grass. The Croatian's remarkable run through Queen's Club had transformed her into one of the most dangerous opponents on tour. The crowd expected a war. The media expected drama. The tennis world expected fireworks. What unfolded was something entirely different. The story of Donna Vekic's grass court season felt almost unbelievable. Just weeks earlier, her campaign at Queen's Club appeared finished before it had even begun. After failing to qualify for the main draw, Vekic seemed destined to leave London empty-handed. Then fate intervened. A late withdrawal opened a spot in the tournament, allowing Vekic to enter as a lucky loser. What followed was extraordinary. Match after match, she refused to lose. She defeated higher-ranked opponents. She survived pressure-filled moments. She turned opportunity into destiny. By the time she reached the final, she had become the tournament's Cinderella story. Standing across the net was Emma Raducanu, Britain's former US Open champion and the overwhelming crowd favorite. The atmosphere was electric. Thousands of British fans expected Raducanu to complete her dream run. Instead, Vekic produced the performance of her life. She dominated the opening set, attacking relentlessly and refusing to give the home favorite any breathing room. When the second set tightened, Vekic remained calm under immense pressure, eventually sealing victory in a dramatic tiebreak. The title was hers. Her first trophy in 3 years. Her 5th WTA title overall. And one of the most improbable championship runs the grass season had ever seen. After the match, emotions poured out. "I doubted myself last year and during the first months of the season," Vekic admitted. "This proves that I can still win titles." The victory reignited her career. Her ranking soared. Her confidence returned. And suddenly, she arrived in Berlin believing she could beat anyone. Yet one obstacle remained. Alex Eala. The Filipina had defeated Vekic twice before. Their first encounter came in Auckland, where Eala recovered from a set down to claim an impressive 3-set victory. Their second meeting ended in another Eala triumph. Those defeats still lingered. For Vekic, Berlin represented an opportunity to finally rewrite the narrative. The surface favored her strengths. Her confidence had never been higher. Everything seemed aligned for revenge. The tennis world expected the Croatian champion to continue her winning streak. Then the match began. And the script was instantly flipped. The opening serve sent a clear message. Eala's left-handed delivery exploded down the tee, clipping a line at over 110 miles per hour. Vekic barely moved. The crowd erupted. It was more than an ace. It was a statement. The young Filipina looked fearless. Whatever fatigue remained from the sleepless night had vanished. From the very first game, Eala controlled the rhythm. Her trademark left-handed angles stretched Vekic far beyond the doubles alley. Shots that had overwhelmed opponents throughout the grass season suddenly came back with interest. Every rally seemed to favor Eala's creativity. Every exchange exposed new problems for the Croatian. Vekic attempted to impose her powerful baseline game. Eala responded with precision. Vekic attacked. Eala countered. Again and again. The confidence that had carried the Croatian through Queen's Club was being challenged by a player operating at an entirely different level. What stunned observers most was Eala's composure. This was supposed to be a difficult assignment. A sleep-deprived wild card against the hottest player on grass. Instead, she looked like the veteran. Calm. Focused. Unshaken. Each point seemed to reinforce her belief. Each winner energized the crowd. And with every passing game, it became increasingly clear that something special was unfolding inside Steffi Graf Stadium. The champion who had conquered Queen's Club suddenly found herself searching for answers. And Alex Eala was giving her none. The momentum never shifted. The powerful ground strokes that had overwhelmed Emma Raducanu during the Queen's Club final were suddenly being redirected with surgical precision. Every time Donna Vekic tried to dictate, Alex Eala found an answer. The Filipina's movement on grass was mesmerizing. She seemed to read the Croatian's intentions before the ball even left the racket. She glided effortlessly across the court, cutting off angles, stealing time, and forcing Vekic into uncomfortable positions. The Philippine flags inside Steffi Graf Stadium waved furiously. Every winner from Eala was met with a roar. Every mistake from Vekic drew stunned silence. The opening set lasted just 29 minutes. Eala claimed it 6-2. The scoreline was emphatic. The statement was even louder. Vekic tried to respond in the second set. The Croatian changed tactics. She mixed up her pace. She attacked the net. She attempted to disrupt Eala's rhythm. Nothing worked. Alex Eala was completely locked in. Her focus was absolute. Her execution was nearly flawless. Game after game slipped away from the Queen's Club champion as Eala surged ahead to a commanding 4-0 lead. For the first time all afternoon, Vekic looked rattled. Yet champions rarely disappear quietly. At 5-2, the Croatian finally found a spark. Drawing on 15 years of experience, she produced the fight that had carried her through her remarkable run in London. She broke Eala's serve for the first time. Then she held serve. The score suddenly tightened to 5-3. A murmur swept through the crowd. Was a comeback beginning? Could the momentum finally be shifting? Eala walked calmly to the baseline. No frustration. No panic. No sign of concern. She bounced the ball 3 times, took a deep breath, and prepared to finish the job. What happened next silenced every remaining doubt. Her first serve exploded into the corner at more than 110 miles per hour. An ace. Untouchable. Match point. The next serve was even better. A vicious left-handed slice dragged Vekic far beyond the doubles alley. The Croatian stretched desperately, but her return sailed long.
Game. Set. Match.
Alex Eala. The scoreboard told the story. 6-2, 6-3. A dominant victory. A third consecutive win over Donna Vekic. And one of the most impressive performances of her young career. The Queen's Club champion had arrived in Berlin riding a 6-match winning streak. Eala ended it without ever allowing her opponent to find her rhythm. The victory sent the Filipina into the round of 16, where an even greater challenge awaited. World number 2 Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion, one of the most feared grass court players in the world. But before that showdown could begin, another story emerged. The story of what had happened just hours before the match. At 3 a.m., while most of Berlin slept, a shrill fire alarm shattered the silence inside the Waldorf Astoria hotel. Alex Eala's eyes snapped open. For a brief moment, she was disoriented. Then reality hit. The flashing lights, the alarm, the urgent instructions to evacuate. Within minutes, players and guests flooded into the hallways. Some wore robes. Others were still in pajamas. Confusion filled the air. Among those gathered outside were Coco Gauff and Eva Liss, both equally stunned by the unexpected interruption. The cold Berlin night offered little comfort. Eala stood among the crowd staring up at the hotel as emergency crews inspected the building. The timing could not have been worse. She was scheduled to play the opening match on center court less than 8 hours later. Eventually, officials confirmed it was a false alarm, a malfunctioning sensor. No danger, no fire, but the damage had already been done. The sleep was gone. The routine was disrupted. The preparation was compromised. Back in her room, Eala lay awake staring at the ceiling. Sleep refused to return. Her thoughts drifted toward the challenge ahead. Donna Vekic, the hottest player on grass, the reigning Queen's Club champion. The woman standing between her and another statement victory. A message from her mother appeared on her phone. "Are you okay?" Eala quickly replied, "I'm fine, just tired. I'll be ready." The response sounded confident, but deep down, she knew the challenge awaiting her would require everything she had. As dawn arrived over Berlin, one question remained. Would fatigue become a factor? The answer arrived just a few hours later on center court. Not only was Eala ready, she was brilliant. The performance became more than a victory. It became a reminder of who she was. Only days earlier, critics had questioned her after a disappointing defeat at Queen's Club. Some wondered if the magical run in Birmingham had taken too much out of her. Others suggested her momentum had already peaked. Eala answered every question the same way great athletes always do. Not with words, with results. The victory over Vekic represented more than a place in the round of 16. It represented resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, the ability to block out criticism, the ability to perform under pressure when circumstances are less than ideal. After the match, Eala reflected on the previous week's disappointment. "I didn't play my best tennis at Queen's Club," she said. "But one match doesn't define me. I know who I am, and I know what I'm capable of." Those words carried weight, because her performance had proven them true. Now the challenge grows even bigger. Standing on the other side of the net is Elena Rybakina, world number 2, former Wimbledon champion, one of the most dominant servers in women's tennis. Their previous meeting ended in a straight sets victory for Rybakina. This time feels different. Alex Eala arrives with confidence. She arrives with momentum. And after dismantling one of the hottest players on grass, she arrives with the belief that she belongs among the elite. The tennis world is watching. The Philippines is dreaming. And Alex Eala has sent a message to the entire Berlin Open field. She is not here to participate. She is here to conquer.